So thank you again for being here. Just a quick disclaimer. If you are a funnels expert, you probably don't need to be here. You may leave now, because this is really just about demystifying all the digital jargon and getting really down to the basics, because I think it's so empowering, particularly for women entrepreneurs, to embrace all of that technology and make it work for you instead of having other people use it on you. So before I get into the actual training, just to let you know, WinTrade Global, the organization I belong to, is a business women's network. We have 1,000 members from 32 countries all over the world, and we've been going for over 25 years. Actually, we are 25 years old this year. It's our mission to level the playing field and afford women and men that support women the kind of opportunities like today to grow your business skills, your network, and your entrepreneurial mindset, and of course your profits. So who am I? As I said, I'm Sydney Thompson. I've been an entrepreneur in Germany for over 20 years now, providing business communication and language training and mindset training to over 2,000 clients in over 100 companies around Germany, Spain, and England. But the training I want to share with you today stems from my work with WinTrade Global, because I've just talked to hundreds of women entrepreneurs around the world, and I'm seeing these commonalities of either farming this kind of work out to other people and paying way more than they should, or just admitting to not having the confidence to tackle those new skills. So we're really just looking at the basics to break down, understanding why these skills are important and also how to leverage them. So gaps in the puzzle. I mean, when you look at the statistics, it's easy to see that we spend a lot of time, effort and money and don't really produce the results that we want. So to look at some of the reasons for that, well, first of all, 50% of entrepreneurs don't have a funnel or even understand how one works. 96% of visitors to your website are not ready to buy anything, but the key word is yet. So it's all about the engagement. Nurtured leads, people that you are investing time to build a relationship with, make 47% larger purchases than non-nurtured leads. And the average visitor spends 10 to 20 seconds on a homepage. And according to neuromarketing, within the first 3 seconds, they decide if your content is relevant to them or not. I think the next one we all kind of know is that email marketing yields 2 times greater return on investment than telephone marketing. But the interesting part of that is what comes next. Only 23% of emails that are promoting the sale of a product or service are even opened, which is why it's absolutely essential to grow your list. So let's start to look at where you are in relation to digital funnels. And, obviously we talk about sales funnels, we talk about marketing funnels, but for me, any automated process that moves your customer from being a stranger to being someone who knows, likes, trusts, and buys from you is literally a funnel. Now, I'm going to show you some questions. And, if I'm being bitterly honest, these are questions I ask myself on a regular basis and don't always come up with, positive answers, but that's good. It helps me to continuously grow, improve, and assess what I'm doing. What's your answer to the following questions? Do your potential customers know about you? That's the discovery phase of the funnel. Do they call or visit? Do they visit your website? Do they book a call with you? And you might have a physical location. Do they actually walk through the door? And that's the interact stage. Do people take action? Do they do what you want them to do? Do they sign up to your newsletter? Do they book a call? Do they purchase your product? And if you're really honest, do you have a really clear, defined call to action? almost within those first 3 seconds of their viewing time on your homepage. That's the engagement part. Do they trust you? And of course, I think, most of the women entrepreneurs that I know, their audience does trust them because they are trustworthy people. But do they trust you enough to put their necks on the line and not only just buy from you, but also tell other people about you? Do they become your brand ambassadors? And of course, the key question is, do people buy from you? The conversion part. Now that looks a bit silly, but to be honest, we have people who regularly attend our events but haven't purchased our membership. Now, that to me is not a terrible thing. I mean, one of these people, I won't name names, but one of these people recommended our network to someone else who became a member, so that she's still a brand ambassador. And do people stay with you? Once they've purchased, do they come back for more? And do they support you and move forward with you in that way? The answers to these questions are the measure to how effective your funnel is. But I'd love to break it down now in a different way and look at some of the moving parts that operate within that system. I like to use the analogy of a car. Now, you may disagree, and I completely respect it if you do, but this works for me. I like to think of your business as the vehicle. And of course, you are the driver. What moves that car forward? Well, of course, the first thing is the wheels, the email list. It's literally how you keep engaged with potential and existing customers to keep them coming back for more or make that initial purchase. Your social media and personal branding online are your lights. They're what lets the world know that you're coming, but also shines the light for you to see what's out there in terms of potential customers, partners, suppliers, and also, what's happening in your industry. And of course, the petrol. And that's for me, the lead magnets. And just for those of you who don't know, I think maybe you all do, but just in case, lead magnets are assets that you offer to people that help to bring them into your vicinity, that magnetize and attract potential customers to you. And my favorite part is the engine, the automation, the thing that keeps everything working smoothly and moving forward. But, that's a very broad analogy. Now let's look at how those puzzle pieces start to work together. And to do that, I'm going to use Brian Tracy's blue sky thinking model. Let's say it's the future and you've made that sale, you may have delivered the service or product. What needed to happen in order for that to be true? In order to actually give customers the product and receive the money, they need to be able to purchase it. And usually, although not always, but usually in order to be able to purchase it, they need to know about it. So you need a place to showcase what you offer. And that, could be a physical location, but I'm really focusing online here. So we're talking about your website and your landing pages. Potentially, I would say also your advertising, but I think that advertising is what brings them to the showcase. And in an ideal world, if they are going to come to your website, they've done it because you have captured their data somehow. You have their name and their email, so you're growing your email list. And in order for them to give you their name and their email, you need lead magnets. That's a broad perspective. But now let's break those pieces down step by step and see how that puzzle all fits together. Now, let me just clarify again, I'm not talking about paid advertising here. That's what happens in order to show people your lead magnet in some ways, or your product or service. If you're interested in dealing with the advertising part of it, one of the WinTrade Global advisors who is available for free to advise WinTrade Global members is an amazing woman called Carleen Nesbitt. She runs a company together with her husband, Bear McBlack, called Thriveology, and that is their passion. They're brilliant at it. So please do check them out on our website under advisors. So now let's get into how that system all works together. So you've seen this just now: lead magnet, data capture, showcase, purchase, and delivery. Lead magnets can be absolutely anything that people want badly enough to give you their email and, their name. But typically they are things like ebooks, webinars, videos, social media posts, blogging, consultations, memberships and directories. So that could be anything from a standalone membership or directory like ours to something like LinkedIn, a LinkedIn group or a Facebook group. And my personal favorite, last but not least, quizzes, which I think are just a really untapped resource in terms of, taking a few minutes of people's time. And then in order to get results and perhaps a free giveaway and more information to add value for them, they give you their name and their email. So here's the thing about lead magnets. I think most of us, do all, if not some of these things on a regular basis. So I know personally, I've been like a headless chicken running around, working 24 hours a day to produce this stuff, but not really connecting the dots. So it's not moving people through my funnel. Or I've paid thousands to other people to do it for me, only to then learn how to do it myself and realized that I was paying thousands for something that really doesn't cost pounds, So a key point for this, for me, what's really helped is to understand how to to only work once. Utilize create an asset and use it once for several different kinds of lead magnets. So here's an example. Today I'm recording this session. I will then take that recording, edit it, add an intro and an outro virtually for free. Then I will upload it and make it an evergreen webinar so that people are continuously giving me their emails. They're continuously opting in, and I've got nothing to do with it. It's just running in the background. I will also take the recording and do a transcription of it, so I have it in words. Once I have it in words, I can create a blog post or several blog posts out of it. I can create an ebook with it. I can chunk it down and use it for social media posts. So there's so many different ways you can take one piece of work and use it for several different lead magnets, and then put it somewhere safe so you can find it again and use it next year in a different way. Just change it up a bit. And all of these things where you don't have to be in the room live like we are right now are things that you can automate, you can have made for you with very cost-effective AI tools. The range of tools you have that are free or cost-effective is literally mind-boggling, and lots of people don't know about them. So that's the lead magnets. Okay, we're putting those out there because we want to add value for potential customers. We want to have a positive impact on the world, all the good stuff. But what we also really need to do is make sure we do not do any of these things without asking for a name and an email in order to grow our email list. We need that opt-in part. It's very, very important. We looked at that 23% of unopened emails, right? So if you've only got 1,000 people on your email list, that's not very many people that's going to actually open the email. And of those people, even less are going to actually click or follow up on your call to action. So in the last 2 years, we've grown through all of these things, we've grown our email list from I think it was about 4,000 or 5,000 people opted in. And now it's, just over 30,000. And that's after we cleaned it out. So we took out 10,000 people who are not responding to our emails, and we're still left with that. So you can see that's just within 2 years. It's very, very powerful. And then the amount of people who are going to actually respond to your call to action is going to be significantly bigger, of course. So in an ideal world, they opt in, they get the value, and they think, wow, this is great. Let me look at the website. That's how we really would love it to happen. But we all know that doesn't always happen. So what we then need is an email sequence. That email sequence will then, and it's literally a set of emails spaced apart that continues that connection, that engagement. And I personally, even within WinTrade Global, right, we have differing opinions. I don't love to get sales emails all the time. If you're going to send me an email, I love it if there's something I can learn or grow from in it. So I love the tie sequence, and that is a tie like what you wear around your neck. That is teach, inspire, and empower. But we need to do that in 2 ways. Number one, you teach, inspire, and empower your audience about your industry, your field of expertise, things you know that can help them, ways that you can add value for them. But the second way is to teach, inspire, and empower them to buy our product or service. I love that way of doing things. What's important here is basically labeling, but it's called tagging. So if you're using the right kind of funnel system, whenever someone, opens an email or clicks on a call to action or purchases a product or does any action at all, they are tagged in the back end. This helps you to start segmenting the people on your email list. So you know who's interested in A, who didn't open anything to do with B, who purchased C. And then you can start to communicate with them in a way that speaks to what they need rather than just what you're offering. So from the showcase area, the next ideal thing is that they go and purchase product or go to the purchase page. But we know, again, doesn't always happen. So you have the next sequence and the next set of tagging. And if they go to your purchase page, we of course want them to go to the success page. But it could quite be the case that, they've purchased your product and then you've delivered it. But it's also possible that they went to the purchase page and said, this isn't for me right now, or I can't afford that, or I just want to check out a competitor. Then you can tag them again to see abandoned page. So we call it abandoned cart, and it just means they went, but they didn't buy. When they're labeled that way, you then know how to communicate with that person in a different way next time. So it might be that you offer them something that's less expensive, or you offer to book a call with them. There's lots of different ways that you can approach people based on what they need. And of course, sequence number 3. And really, when you look at that whole thing, that is what a very basic funnel looks like. Now, companies spend millions on these things and make really intricate, complicated funnels. I don't use it very often. I have used it, but you see a lot of things like A/B testing, which is basically they make 2 versions of the same thing, maybe 2 versions of the quiz or 2 versions of the opt-in page, and they see which one people respond to more, and then they use that one. But you may have millions. I don't have millions. And what's really important to me to help the company grow is to be as aware as I can about ways to do things in an efficient and cost-effective way. So you can build something like this for yourself. You may not have the time or the inclination, but I tell you what, with this sort of knowledge, when you are ready to get somebody else to do it for you, they cannot pull the wool over your eyes because you know what you're looking for. And I hope by the end of today, you'll know really, where your vision is. They cannot pull the wool over your eyes. They cannot overcharge you because you know exactly what's involved. And they kind of convince you that something else, less time consuming for them, would be better. What kind of functions do we use funnels for? We can use them basically to sell or promote anything. But in my experience, from my conversation with women entrepreneurs, it boils down to roughly 4 kinds of things. So the first thing, which is sort of combined in the first funnel I showed you, is lead generation. So it's just growing your email list, because that is power. I actually know people who have thousands of contacts and no email list. They got people there in that contact software and people there and CSV lists from 10 years ago, but they've not put it all into an online email list, which means that, they're not effectively communicating with their network. It's mind-blowing. Lots of the people I speak to are also authors, and it's a great thing to do to put together to promote a book and sell a book. You just saw that I had a combination of lead generation and a product funnel to sell products and services. And of course, an event funnel. And again, really, really great way to do that. If you ever do events and you don't have an opt-in function for it, you are missing a huge opportunity. You're meeting amazing people from around the world who are visiting your online events, for example, but you're not getting their email so you can get back to them in the future. And Zoom, so we used Zoom events in the past, and they've just made it so that you can't necessarily get the people's emails, which is why we've left. Because that's part of, the one side is to uplift, or what I say, to use people, to uplift, support, and empower people. But on the other side, it's an exchange of energy. You need their email, because once you've made that relationship, you want to be able to communicate with them again. So I know it's a lot of information, and I probably spoke way too fast. For some people, it's too much information and it's a turn off, because if you're like me, there was a time where you said, no, I am not a technical person. I don't do technology. It's just not for me. And that was just purely a mindset thing, but it's a huge block. And that's, I hope, is a start of the end of that period, if you're that person who says that. Because of working together with my mother, Dr. Yvonne Thompson, who is actually the person who started me down on this journey by teaching me how to build websites. There's literally no technology I feel I cannot learn if I have long enough and the will to do it. And when I see the amount of time that funnels save me, I've got every will in the world. I'm all about saving time, effort, and money. So where to start with this then? If you're thinking, okay, this kind of works for me, and I don't necessarily want to continue to pay thousands for other people to do it for me without the passion and the creativity that I myself have. You could start just by defining your goals. What exactly would you like to achieve with your online presence? When you're interacting with people online for a business purpose, what is it you're trying to achieve? And once you've understood what that is, you then map out your customer journey. What experience do you want them to have while they are engaging with you? And how do you achieve that experience? And I literally use a pen and a paper and write this all down, a bit like what I just showed you before, but with a pen and a paper, so I can sort of see where I want them to go and what assets do I need to achieve that. And that just gives you a lot of clarity, and it takes some of the panic away from it. The next thing is to identify your lead magnets. I don't know if you're like this. Before I started working with WinTrade, I used to make some ebooks and some social media posts, and then I needed this thing or that thing. I was always trying to find cost-effective ways to get someone to make videos for us, until I learned how to do it myself and realized that the week they said they needed to do it, depending on what the video was, if it's a 30-second video, they don't need, or I don't need. And I know I can literally sit at the computer and make what's in my head come out. It may not be as professional as if someone took thousands from me to make it, but it comes with passion, with intensity, and a clarity of vision that they probably don't have. So this is really, really something I want you to grasp and just accept. You're a woman entrepreneur. Oh my God, that means you are intelligent, resilient, confident. Literally, there's nothing you cannot achieve. And this will save you time, put your word out there, and give you the tools you need. So after you've done that, it's about creating the landing page. Now, the only difference between a landing page is it's a standalone web page. So your website is all the pages are connected with on one site, and a landing page is a standalone page for a specific product or service or event, whatever it might be. They are so easy to create for yourself. So I create everything that you see. I'm paid to do it for other people, not on a regular basis because it's not my main job, but now and again, particularly if I like somebody, I will offer them my services and get paid to make these things. The difference is, for me, when it's in my head, I know exactly what I want, and then I can get it done in literally minutes, or half an hour, or a day if it's more complicated. When I'm doing it for other people, I'm really conscious of trying to get what they mean and what they want, and then so it takes a lot longer. So when you're waiting for stuff to come back from other people, this is what's going on. When you're doing it yourself, I mean, it's not necessarily very healthy, but I have been known to wake up in the middle of the night, not be able to get back to sleep, and go and create a product or a video or a landing page or a membership area, because I can. And that's the freedom of it. So, of course, the key part to saving you time and stress is automation. And if you have the right tools to do it, it's so easy to do. And it saves you so much stress. And you can do it like me in the middle of the night. You can do it over brunch on Sunday morning and know that everything's just going to flow for the rest of the week. That's the power here. And the last part, which people very often forget to do, is analyze and optimize what worked, what didn't work, what's out of date, what pieces can you swap, literally like a puzzle, which pieces can you swap out for another piece that's more fresh, modern, up to date, tells people about something new that's going on in your business. It's a really important part, and you can actually put time in your week to create these assets and work on your automation and your email sequences. And there are not many parts of this that you cannot automate. Get a software that does it for you. There are so many things out there. For example, I don't know if you know about Jasper. It's amazing. It's a artificial intelligence copywriter. So you put in what you want to say or what you want to communicate, and it trolls, its internet brain, looking for the copy all over the world and all throughout time that performed the best, that had the most engagement. And it sort of puts it together and rejiggles it, and bam, you could literally write a book with this thing. Now, the caveat to it is it uses the voice according to the tone you told it to use. It doesn't use your voice. So I never just copy it and then send it out into the world. I always look at what I've got and then, adjust it to have the Wintrade Global tone of voice. But it's brilliant. And I can think off of my head at least 20 more tools for every piece of that puzzle that does stuff like that for you, which I use. So as I mentioned, I make all of these things. I make videos, I make ebooks, I make blog posts, I create web pages, I set up email sequences, and. But what I would really, really love to do is train you to do it yourself. Now, of course, that's not the kind of training you can fit into an hour. And you have come into my funnel by being here today. So if I may, I would like to, I want to say sell you, but that's wrong. What I would like to do is offer an exchange of energy. I'll put my passion, my expertise and my knowledge into helping you be able to do all the things that I can do. Reduce all of that time, reduce all of that effort. Of course, you have to put the effort in to learn it, right? That's clear. But oh my God, the amount of time, stress and effort you save by learning it. Even if you don't do all those things yourself, when you employ other people to do it for you, you save yourself a lot of stress and worry and money because you know what you're asking them to create. So let me show you the kind of things that my training will include. We will set up a basic business funnel so you understand how to put all those parts together, how to tag, how to sequence, how to automate, how to build the web page, how to build online courses if we have time, although that it will be a very, very quick piece. That might be a separate course. Also essential, which to be honest, I've only just learned about, and I learned about it because we were very, very lucky to be sponsored by a marketing company who then took the time to train me about some of the things I want to teach. So I'm very blessed and I want to pass that on. Do your colors, does your logo, does the look of your website, do your fonts reflect both of two things? Number one, does it reflect who you are and what you offer? But number two, does it reflect the needs of your customers? Does it speak to them? Does it resonate with them? And there are some very sort of scientific ways to get quickly to that and decide whether or not that is the case, and if it's not, to change it. The next thing that I will help you get around, and it might be that these are some things that you know very well, but it may be that I'll be able to give you some tips and tricks that you don't quite know yet. So how you make social media images for free or cost effectively. How you schedule that social media in a way that reflects the times of day that people are looking at it or at their desk looking at social media, and the copy with the posting, how you formulate the copy from a neuromarketing perspective to really speak to people. I'll also help you with ebook production. That is how you produce the cover and the look of it and the design of it, but also ways to actually write it without having to sit there for hours or days or weeks. Literally, if you've got the content in your mind, you could actually literally have this done officially in 10 minutes, unofficially half an hour, or as long as you choose to spend on it. Video promo production. I think it's really important for your product or your company and actually even yourself. So I don't have a personal promo video. I don't have a show reel, but Yvonne does. And people with high profiles do. And people who want to have high profiles do. Just a 1 to 2 minute video to let the world know who it is they're dealing with. And I can show you how to make that really easily and really cost effectively. And looking at your landing page neuromarketing, how are you speaking to your customer? Because obviously everyone resonates with a certain style. And are you using the right style for you, for your industry, for the kind of customer you want to attract, or even for your existing customers? But there's so much more in the training. So let me get ahead, move on and show you what that is. So in this training, there are the live training sessions. So there's two. There's a coaching 1-to-1, or there's the group. Either way, with the coaching, if you want it recorded, you can have it recorded. But with the live training, the session will be recorded and it will then be uploaded course area with free download, resources and some assessments just to make sure that you're on track with what you've learned. There'll be a bonus mindset training session at the beginning of the course, because in my experience, we expend so much energy trying to generate more business. But actually, there's very often a lot of blockages in our subconscious that are actually, inhibiting us and stopping us from achieving what we want to achieve. And that is particularly true when it comes to learning something you don't feel confident with. Like for me, like when I was learning technology, I literally spent years trying to learn some of the stuff I'm about to show you, fast track you on, really. I don't want you to have to spend years and cry in frustration. I want you to know, right, you do this, 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 and bam, it's done. That's the experience I want you to have. So also, as I mentioned again and again, training for at least 15 free or cost-effective tools that can help you to do your work quicker, more effectively, and more profitably. And by the end of this training, you will have full funnel activation capability. Either you will be wanting to do it for yourself, and by the end of the course, your funnel will be fully activated if you take every single step and recommendation that I make along the way and keep with us, and let me know if you're experiencing challenges so I can stop and help you sort those out. Or maybe you don't actually want to do any of this yourself, but you want to know how to be able to do it yourself, whether or not to teach staff or perhaps a virtual assistant, teach them how to do it, or know what you're talking about when you're negotiating with suppliers who will do it for you, because that's also really powerful. So before I get into, the investment that you would make in terms of financial energy for any training that I would give you, I'd just like to let you see what some of the customers think of my training. And let me be completely honest, this training, this range of customers, this training is for business communication, it is for mindset, it's for funnels, and for language. So it's a range of people. So Niklas Homberg, the managing director of NASDAQ listings in Sweden, said Sydney is very professional in her work and spreads a positive energy. She has a pedagogical way of training and always understands the customer's needs. Maureen Weeks, who I think is here today, I hope she is a founder and an incredible publisher. So if you need a publisher, please do contact Maureen Weeks. Sydney provides a service that is everything you'd want: professional, understanding, informative, and yet very warm, friendly, and goes out of her way to meet your requirements. Nuria Munoz is, I know she signed up for this training today. I don't know if she joined us, but I've coached her on funnels before as well. She's a biophilic interior designer based in Spain, and she said, Sydney's shown me the possibilities to expand my company, and she's taught me to find the right marketing strategy. It's a real pleasure to have met her, and I recommend her to any businesswoman. Only two more, I promise, because I'm starting to blush. I know you can't see it because I'm black, but I am starting to blush. Vanessa Fernandez, an incredible founder and entrepreneur from London, said, Sydney's guidance and coaching was instrumental in elaborating and implementing strategies to help me scale up my business. She's super professional, reliable, and has an extensive network of contacts. And the last one, last but definitely not least, is one of my wonderful, wonderful contacts in Germany, Norbert Riedel, who's an IT test manager at Deutsche Post DHL. And he said, her way of doing training is very productive. She used many different techniques, and that made the difference. She's very professional in setting up and executing the training with excellent results. So, right, time to stop blushing and move on to just let you know again what a funnel will do for you. It will grow your email list, which is the lifeblood of your customer engagement. It will automate your system to save you stress, time, energy, and money. Now, I've written Monday, which is absolutely spot on, because literally it's freed up so much of my time using the processes I now want to teach to you, which is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I think it literally does save me a day per week. And it helps you to produce better, more consistent results and less stressful results. So if any of you know us well, at the beginning of working for Wintrade, I would often send stuff out and I'd be so stressed and so, what's the word? Just busy. And, just to let you know, I'm blind in my right eye. So what often used to happen is I used to send out social media posts and not spot the spelling mistakes just because I was so busy. I hadn't spell checked it properly, or, whatever. And the way that I work now ensures that that doesn't happen, because I've got so much more time to actually check what I'm doing, and the tools do all the work for me. It's a super total game changer. So now let's look at what the energy exchange is that I am proposing for you today. The first option is actually the option that I do not recommend. I'm probably the worst saleswoman ever, because this would earn me the most money. And that's that we do it all for you. We set up a complete funnel for you with all the moving parts. But that would be much more expensive. You wouldn't have as much control over it, particularly with updating it in the future. Now, when it comes to something like that, what happens is also, when you think, I can't be bothered to do this again for my new product or my new event, I'm going to get someone to do it for me. You still don't know how to do it. So you still can't negotiate with them or pull them up if something's not working properly, because you can't see in the back end of it, which is why I propose the next two options. I will guide you in one-to-one coaching on a weekly basis. We can do it intensively if you have 2 weeks to pay attention to nothing else and only work with me. But I don't recommend that, actually, and it's more expensive than this price. I recommend weekly training, because what that will do is help you to make incremental changes, have time to actually implement what you've learned, and still work around your busy schedule. Now, this price is for non-Windtrade Global members. Members pay 25% less. And then, of course, there's the group training. Now, the benefits of the group training: number one, it costs much less. With the one-to-one training, I can really only train about 5 people per month because I'm just so busy. But with the group training, it's more cost effective, and you can bounce ideas off of each other. So that gives you sort of like a support system for accountability. That is for me. I mean, if I were you and I was interested in one of these, I would definitely go with the group training. Selling myself out of business doesn't matter. It's more important to make sure that you're happy with what happens. So as I said, these prices are for non-members. Members pay less, 25% less. With the members price, you're only paying $400 per month for the one-to-one coaching, and £125 per month for the group training. And let me just say, these are both weekly trainings over a period of 4 months. So that means if you do everything I say and you stick with me and you work through it, I want to say work hard, but it's not hard, it's working smarter. And you work through it, 4 months later, you will have a fully operational funnel. And more importantly, you'll know exactly how to change it, use it, adapt it, and improve it. But even though I've just said all of this, this is not the price that you would be paying today for the group training. For the group training, I would like to offer you this price if you buy it today. This is our 25th year of operating with Windtrade Global. So I want to give you a £25 discount. The reason we want to do this is because you've supported us for all these years, and we want to give something back to you as well. What we are also doing is because all of the things we offer are much cheaper for members. So because it's 25 years, we're also offering membership for the next 12 months at £25 per month, which, when you look at our overall price, is a quarter of the overall price, but only for the next 12 months. And the last thing, now this is not a reason for you to buy, but it's a reason for me to feel absolutely okay for asking you to buy my training, is that at Windtrade Global, we are committed to giving 10% of our membership fees to supporting the business and personal growth of underrepresented women around the world. Sorry, that was a mouthful. To funding an investment for diverse women, and by diverse I mean all women, and then also to supporting efforts against human trafficking, which is my personal passion, is to end modern day slavery as soon as possible. So we use 10% of our membership fees to donate towards those courses. But for this course, I also want to donate 10% of the fees that you give to us for this training to the flood efforts. There's so many floods around the world at the moment, and I can't sit there and do nothing. So this is a great way for you to win, because you will absolutely exponentially increase your knowledge and actually see the results of that on a week by week basis as you create more and more of your funnel. We win at WinTrade Global because you are exchanging your financial energy with us, and the world wins, which is exactly the way it should be. So please do have a look, see whether or not this is a good fit for you, and decide whether or not you would like to join us. That's it for now. Thank you so much.